What up? Um, I've said this before, but it's been like a month and some change, or like a couple months, probably more accurate. But like a balance between logical and like your intuition is necessary. Okay, um, because if you go into this world purely logical, or you just like if you continue to live purely logical, sure you will have like money and whatever, but uh, the world will like low-key eat you up, and it's not in like the same way, right? um it's like if you go purely logical and ignore just like anything, or like the notion there being anything else, or just like the notion that like empathy is just as important as logical logical, right? If you ignore that notion, then you will lose yourself, right? You will never get in touch with yourself, right? And you will never be able to be truly happy. Okay, I'm not saying to be like spiritual. I'm just saying like to have empathy and hold empathy in the same regard as you do logic. And I know there's been like a big push, like on the internet for like years at this point. Wouldn't be surprised if it was like the whole time of people saying, "Oh, you're not you're facts over feelings," or um, "Oh, what do they say?" It's like people who are logical aren't like, or people who are emotional or empathetic aren't like good leaders or whatever, or like they can't make like the right decisions. That's been like the big like major thing, um, especially like I'm pretty sure this just has been for a while, but you see it a lot on the internet, right? But that's what they want you to think, and by they I mean the oligarchs, okay? Because if you accept that there is only logical, or like, oh, it's like, you know um like only logical, empathy doesn't matter in leadership or anything like that, AI will become the highest thing in the physical world, okay? Because it's smarter, or not necessarily smarter, but it knows everything. Well, it will know everything. Is what they want. They want it to be, right? Like, has access to like the entire internet, to all information all at once. It can tell you any fact you want, right? Let's just imagine the AI is perfect, right? Let's get this up. Let's just imagine that AI is perfect, right? That is, and yeah, I was reminded of this from a Professor Jang video. Okay, I know it's fucking terrible. Kill me. Okay, um, but like that will become your god, because there is nothing smarter than that. There's nothing better. There's nothing higher than it in logic, right, or in knowledge, right? Um, and let's say somebody controls that, then that person would in turn control God, right? Um, but if you don't accept that notion, okay, which most people are not, and I know that, but if you don't accept that notion, then you'll be fine. But there will become a point in which you will have to deny like society. And yeah, I know that's a but you will have to deny society at a certain point in the future. How, like, whether it be like 20, 30, 50, 60 years in the future, who knows? But 5, 3, 2, 4, um you will have to deny society at some point, okay? And by society, I don't mean the people around you, I mean the systems, because the systems are already built to like kill you, actually, but it's not obvious enough for some people to care enough, right? But it's like, see, this is why my phone tapped. This is why my phone is tapped. Because if you continue to just follow society and just do everything they tell you to do, and by they I mean like the governments or whatever, right? They all have been compromised, if we're being honest. At least most of them have. Okay. And honestly, probably not even compromised. Probably just working how they're supposed to, and this is just like the catalyst of what they've been working towards, right? But it's like, you can't just sit down and say when they tell you to sit down all the time. Okay, especially when the chairs are on fire. Okay, but they're gonna strap something to the chairs to make them. They're gonna strap a knife to the chair and make it shoot up. Okay, and you're gonna say, yeah, sit down, or this or that will happen, right? This is why they want to have AI that can people. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you have a bunch of bots that have no empathy and that are pure logical, that follow your every word, which they don't, by the way, but this part's won't fuck over, but they follow your every word, they don't need people anymore, bro. They don't need people anymore, bro. And now they don't have to have people on their side. There doesn't have to be an incentive to give people to bring over to their side to, people, right? Like, border patrol. Okay. Yeah, they already have like the soulless people who will do anything for money, and they think people are like subhuman, all that, right? But it's crazy? Some of them are still feeling it. They still feel fear. They still feel fear. They still have some empathy, right? So they can't keep it up forever. And also, humans are limited. But, if they're just bots that don't have souls, they don't need people. They don't have to convince people to come over to their side or to work for them. Now it's just theirs. Now, of course, it never works out how these empires planned it to. Which is why you see in history empires be like this almost insane godlike figure, but they still fall from one way or another, from their own mistakes, from their own arrogance, right? And that's but I believe that they want to take advantage of the fall, and they want to have like some sort of like reserve to keep after the fall does happen, because they know what's going to happen. Okay, although they try to keep it up as long as they can, but they know what's going to happen, so they know it's going to fall, right? I know that's contradictory, but that's how they think. I'm sorry. So they want to have like reserves, and then they can, however long, they can just come back in and like swoop in and try to take everything and try to have everything in their clutches from the very start. But things don't work out how they always intended to. And I know logically we're fucked, but we're not, because history isn't always logical. Get me? Anyways, I'm done. Toodles.